I love movies. Do you know what else I love? Root beer. Join me as we watch some movies, review some movies, while drinking a cold, tasty root beer. This is Movies and Root Beer.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Movies and Root Beer. You know me, Roman. Guy in the intro. It's just me. I got Lola here, who's been in like 3 videos now. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Okay, so today, in case you couldn't tell by this, and the title, we're doing Ghostbusters from 1984. So, 40 years this year,
Yes.
2024.
Yes.
And we're gonna try to do as many 1984 movies as possible because they're all turning 40 this year. So yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, so, first of all, Lola,
Oh gosh.
here we
one?
have some premium Fitz orange pop since 1947. It says that, but there's 4 flavors in here, and we get to pick one. Let me go through them.
Okay.
So first we have
Look at the top. Look at the top.
Oh,
No. Like the top of the no,
Here you go.
I see it right here.
citrus soda, but I thought they would all say that. Give us a sec. Yeah, they all say that.
Oh.
Oh, okay, I see now. So this one is cherry.
Okay.
This one does not have anything on it. That's weird.
Maybe it's just club soda.
This one's XL black cherry.
Uh-huh. These are the ones we got from St. Louis. Yeah. These are the ones we got from St. Louis.
This is cherry limeade.
I was
And-
wondering because this brand looks familiar.
I'm just gonna assume that this is lime or lemon.
Wait, what's this one?
Cherry limeade.
Oh,
So you pick. Or would you prefer this canned ghost?
I'm good. I think I'll take this one.
What is it?
Cherry limeade.
Nice.
I might need you to open it.
I know. Thought so. I think I'm going to go with black cherry. XL black cherry.
This is pure cane sugar.
Mm.
Yeah, it was weird. In St. Louis, all their soda wasn't like corn syrup based. It's all cane sugar based.
Oh.
So it's like kind of a different taste. To be
Natural
honest.
sugar.
Yeah. It's kind of better to be honest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Smells good too.
They specifically had this one soda. It was like a mix of orange, like Fanta and Sprite. Like they had a mixture of that as one soda. It was actually pretty good.
Cheers. It tastes pretty good. It tastes like something. I can't quite. Oh well. Anyway.
Mine tastes pretty good too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It better. So first of all, who paid for this? Who paid for it?
Our dad.
Our dad paid for it. I wasn't there when we bought it. So, Ghostbusters, 1984. So, here's how it's described, or its description, if you will. The comedic team of Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Harold Ramis fight ghosts and ghouls as paranormal sanitation workers. With fully charged proton packs strapped to their backs, they venture around New York City exterminating pesky apparitions. That's how it's done. Release date, June 8th, 1984. So it's coming up for us at least. Hopefully I can get this out by then. Director Ivan Reitman. I'm going to stick with that. Who's directed movies as all the Ghostbusters, or at least the first 2 Ghostbusters movies. Twins, you remember that movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, in case you haven't heard of that movie. And then Kindergarten Cop, another Arnold Schwarzy movie. So, their budget, get this.
Oh, yeah.
What?
No, go ahead.
$30 million, right? Guess how much it made?
Millions.
Correct. 295.2 million, to be exact, is what I got. If that's exact enough.
Dang.
It's the cast of Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and I know he's a supporting character, but I like to include him, and Ernie Hudson. Winston.
No, what's the girl's name?
Oh, Annie Potts.
She's pretty good.
Annie Potts.
Important.
Oh, Sigourney Weaver. Is that what you're thinking of? Or Annie Potts?
Both.
Okay.
They're both pretty important.
At least I believe it's Annie Potts. I believe that's her name. Hopefully. So, if we compare the original poster art to the VHS DVD art, we all know that the DVD art, VHS art, is just a black background, and it's got the "Do Not Ghost" symbol on it. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, like that. That's exactly what it looks like. But the original one is, I believe, is that same thing. But it's also got like Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Harold Ramis right up front.
Is that
And
the
they're like-
yeah?
they're
That's
like
the one
aiming.
I'm thinking of.
Yeah, they're like aiming at something. I don't know exactly what. It could be anything, like a ghost or something. I don't know. But that's the original poster art of it all.
What other movies did this release with?
Well, it released with Gremlins on the same day.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some other competition it had was Karate Kid and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. All released within a month period before.
Karate Kid.
Yeah, Karate Kid.
Oh yeah.
What were
I
you
thought
thinking?
it came out in 1982.
Oh, you wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Wow, we gotta do a lot more movies
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Hmm?
Never mind. Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's walk the audience through the movie here. All right.
Okay.
So first, it starts with as Ray Stantz puts it as a full torso apparition haunting the library. Remember that part?
Yes.
So
Because we both recognize the woman from Awakening.
yes, another. That's a. What's his face? Robert De Niro and
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. How did I forget that? It's a movie about people who are stuck in a state of consciousness yet stuck.
No.
What is it?
Chronically frozen?
Chronically
If that
frozen?
makes sense.
And they get this drug for dopamine, and they can move now, and some of them is stuck for a while.
It's weird.
Back to the movie though. So
But I'm just saying, both of us recognized her from that.
yeah, the librarian at least. So it's
Yeah.
full torso apparition. It's haunting the library, and she's doing stuff like moving the books around. How did they do that? That's my question. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
The books are just float.
Oh, like behind the scenes?
Yes, I would like to know how they do certain things in this movie, which I'll get to it
I
later.
don't know.
Okay, so from there, we actually don't see them. What do they do? They get scared by it and they run away. A couple scared kids.
Oh, well, we passed the part where he did the test. You remember that with those cards? And they'd guess what was on the card.
Oh, Peter Venkman, yes.
Yeah, and
he'd shock the guy.
And then it was from the same. That was in the new one.
The new one, yes.
Yeah,
After
at the
that.
end.
So
I thought that was kinda
Peter
cool.
Venkman ran an experiment where he had a guy and a girl both college students, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were strapped to this a shock device
Yeah.
where he would hold up a card where they couldn't see the end that he was looking at. It would have a shape on it or something. Some of them are like 3 wavy lines, or a star, or a circle. You know, you get the gist. But the guy would always guess incorrectly, and he would get shocked. And the girl would always guess it incorrectly, but Peter didn't shock her for reasons. And I believe at one point the guy did get it right, and he still shocked him.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. Comedy.
But yeah. Mm-hmm.
So after the library, the university that is giving them the grant, I believe is how they put it, decides to, kick them out.
Yep.
And now they no longer have their grant money to do their research.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're practically broke and have nowhere to go. Until they get to the firehouse. And they rent it. Well, more like buy it at this point, because they succeed. Later in the movie, at least. But for now, they just moved in. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then we meet Dana. She's like a...
Okay.
What? She's like a musician.
Yes.
And then we find out that her apartment is haunted. And then she hears a voice say Zool. Z-U-U-L. Zool. And then she calls the Ghostbusters.
No, wasn't that when it like peered through the wall?
Yeah.
That part reminded me.
Or,
do you remember?
More like the fridge opened. And then
No, remember in the door it like popped through.
the wall. Oh, yes. I believe that where it like pushed the wall.
Yeah, that part reminded me. You remember in Stranger Things when the Demogorgon did that?
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah. It was pretty scary. I know I was like 10 when I saw that. So brings up some memories. Yeah.
Okay.
So then, after Dana gets haunted by Zool,
Mm-hmm.
at least the next major plot point is the Ghostbusters finally get a call, and it's the hotel with Slimer in it. Do you remember
Do you
Do you remember what the hotel's called?
No,
It's a fancy hotel. That's pretty important.
it's in New York. So.
It's in New York too, so that says something else about it because it's expensive and fancy, proper, pish posh. And that's another thing. How was Slimer performed? Like, I bet it was a puppet and like a green screen, but like I would like to see it, like how it was filmed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting to see. Just a guy with his hand in Slimer, and he's like, and then he's got his sticks with the food, and he's like shoving it in his mouth. He's like, you know what I mean?
You think?
Yeah. Because like he had realistic looking food in his mouth, and it was going down the gullet. So it was like, how'd they do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially for 1984, so not as technologically advanced. So they used what they had. And I would like to know what they used and how they had used it.
Yeah.
So then, after Slimer, that whole debacle, that's when they start to get famous. People start to give them calls and gigs and jobs and money. That's pretty important. To run a business, you need money. Which is what they got, and that's how they succeed. How it works, right, Lola?
Yeah.
And because they're getting, so many jobs and stuff, they hire Winston. Because they need another, helping hand around.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Janine.
Oh, they hired Janine as soon as they moved into the firehouse.
I know.
As like
I'm
their
just saying.
receptionist. Yeah. Receptionist.
I said she kind of reminds me of Rizzo from Grease.
Yeah. It's her hair.
And a bit of her character.
That too. Maybe it's the hair. The hair fits the character. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Just saying. It could be.
Okay.
Hair fits the personality.
Okay.
And then sooner down the line, Walter Peck is the name. Starts to poke around and it's like, "Oh, let me look at your ghosts." And they're like, "No." And he's like,
is that like
"Whoa."
the police or like the government dude?
EDA or something? Something about safety for the city or something.
Oh.
Just doing his job, supposedly. He's like, "Let me look at your ghosts." And they're like, "No." And he's like, "Well, screw you. I'm going to come back and get a warrant." And they're like, "Yeah, do that. I dare you." And he does. But before he does, Gozer's minions, Zool and... what did I write down? Vince Clortho. That's his name. Which is weird, because you got Vince Clortho, 2 names, and then Zool. They work for Gozer, the main villain, the "Are you a god?" guy thing. They possess Dana and Lewis. Yeah. And then they summon Gozer. But before that, there's a lot of interchangeable stories happening here. Then Walter Peck shows up with the warrant thing he promised earlier, and he gets him. That's right. And he shuts them down. And then he releases... Does he release the ghosts? Yeah, he releases them.
Yeah.
And then chaos spreads throughout New York City. People are getting scared by ghosts. Because that's what ghosts do. They scare you. Boo. But then the Ghostbusters are incarcerated because Walter Peck is like, "I was right," when he caused it, which is some BS. But they get taken to jail, and then they get let out of jail by the mayor, because the mayor's like, "They're the only ones who know how to deal with this," and so he lets them out, and then they go and come up with a plan, and they execute it. And that plan is to go to the top of Dana's apartment. Well, Dana and Lewis, because they're neighbors. Their apartment, because it's haunted by Gozer, which is where Gozer would, reside back in the day, like Samaritan days. And then that's where he'd be. And then the apartment was built on top of that, and now Gozer's there. You know how that works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Gozer's there, at the top of the apartment building. We didn't get the name of the apartment building. If someone knows, please tell us. We really appreciate that. So, they get to the top. Dana and Lewis become dogs. Zool and Vince Clortho, their true forms. Ghost dogs. Dogs. And then Gozer appears. And they're like, "Ah, Gozer!" And they're like, "Wait, what's Gozer?" So they approach Gozer. And then Gozer's like, "Are you a god?" And then Ray, everyone's like, "Say yes, Ray." And Ray's like, "No." And then Gozer's like, "Then die." And then she Emperor Palpatines them with her hands. And they go, "Wah!" And they go flying into the whatever's behind them. Believe, what's his face? This guy.
Who? Egon?
Egon. I keep forgetting names for some reason. He almost falls off. But it's a movie, so they're like, "Yeah, get back up here." They save him from falling. So then all 4 are up there. And then Winston is like, he asked if you were a god, so yes. Duh, obviously. So then they're like, "Alright, now I'm ticked off. Let's get Gozer." And then they're like, boom, and they try to zap Gozer. Gozer just jumps out of the way. And then, out of thin air, just left. Literally jumped off screen and never appeared again.
Really?
I think so.
I don't know.
I believe so. Because they jumped out of screen, and then the temple started talking for some reason. You remember that? They're like, "Pick the destroyer of the world." And then they're like, "No one think or say anything." And then Ray's like, "Uh-oh, I thought of something." And then the Marshmallow Man walks through New York City It's like, hey guys, I'm here to kill you! And then it's just walking and stepping on cars and stuff. And then it starts to climb the building to kill the Ghostbusters. And they're like, no, we can't let him get to us. So they zap the temple. They're like, let's cross the streams. And they do. And they zap the temple and then they blow everything up. And that's what I mean. Like, we don't see Gozer again. We hear them.
True.
But once Gozer jumps off screen, literally upwards, don't see him ever again. We hear them, but no visual. No visual, sir. But at the end. Oh, and then the world gets covered in, well, not the world. More like the street gets covered in marshmallow fluff. Or marshmallow guts, if you will. And that's Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Sweet. So, let's get to our favorite part.
No, still have some general thoughts.
Oh, please, share. I'd love to hear.
I thought Venkman was kind of like Trevor in Afterlife.
Yeah, I noticed that. In Afterlife, all four of them were like parallels of the old ones. Trevor, or Finn Wolfhard's character, is Venkman, as the funny guy who doesn't really know what he's doing.
And doesn't want to do anything.
And doesn't want to do anything. Phoebe is obviously Egon, because A, they're related, and they're both super smart.
Then who's Ray?
Ray is podcast.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because they also have that dynamic in both of the newer movies. And he's just, the overhype, excited one who just wants to do something. And then, what's her face? Lucky.
Oh, yeah.
She's kind of not officially part of the group yet. And just joins and it's like, okay, let's do this.
So Winston.
Yeah, Winston.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. When Lewis was running, I thought that was so funny.
Oh, yeah. So
Like, after being chased from the ghost dog. Vince Clortho?
Mm-hmm. V-I-N-Z C-L-O-R-T-H-O. Vince Clortho.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I have it
But
spelled
yeah,
right here.
I thought that was pretty funny, to be honest.
Yeah, it was.
Was it just me, or did the Marshmallow Man look kind of creepy?
It looked kind of funny. Like I said before, he's there to kill people. He's like, hey, guys!
No, like, I think I remember his face being, like, kind of creepy.
Like mad?
Yeah.
Yeah, that scared me as a kid. Because,
And then,
he's like this big guy and he had a smile, so I was like, oh, I like this guy. He's smiling at me, so I'm gonna like him. And he's got that face on him. I'm like, oh no.
I didn't realize how, like, quickly they defeated the Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
Like, that was, like, what, 2 minutes? Not even?
I mean, when you're a kid, 2 minutes seems like 2 hours.
True.
Because you haven't been there for that long.
Yeah.
But now you're older. And
True.
flight time is a little bit shorter than you thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hmm? Kind of
That was all my general thoughts.
Okay, well, what was your favorite part?
I have just, like, I have a favorite part, but then I also have, like, quotes.
I have 2. Well, that's a question I'll ask. Like, what's your favorite quote?
Okay. The ghost busting montage. That was my favorite part.
That's your favorite part? Really?
Yeah.
For realsies?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah?
I didn't expect that.
Like, it was in the first half of the movie, I think. Right?
Yeah, like after Slimer.
Yeah.
When they did all the
yeah.
calls and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the music, the vibe.
Because of the theme song?
Yeah. It was cool.
I'm burping because of the soda. This might be bad. My favorite part,
Okay.
I have 2.
Oh, yeah,
But
yes.
I had to pick one.
Same both.
It would be catching Slimer. Mainly because of...
They had terrible aim when they were doing that.
It was their first time doing it.
I know, but I'm just saying. Like, you
That-
think they...
And then there's also the ending where with Gozer and the Marshmallow Man. That whole finale scene.
Yeah.
But I like Slimer's part of it a lot better. Just because, you see them go in unexperienced. They like make a mess and everything. And even when Venkman pulls the sheet from under, everything falls over, but you can hear him say, "And the flowers still stand." And it's like, that's pretty funny.
Wait! I've always wanted to do this. And the flowers are still standing.
Venkman quotes are just so funny.
Yeah, he had.
I have a lot of.
Before we get
quotes.
into that, did you have any least favorite parts, and why?
Nope.
No.
Did you?
I think I did. When Walter lets the ghosts out, because I kind of hate bad guys sometimes. Especially when they're wrong.
True.
Like, this guy was kind of right, like, he wanted to keep the city safe, but, like, he wasn't aware of the dangers of letting them out, but he didn't listen. So, I hate him for that. What was your favorite quote, though?
Nobody steps on a church in my town. I think it was the Marshmallow Man who did it. Sure. Yeah, and Venkman yells that out, and then they start zapping them, I think.
Nobody steps on a church in my town. 1, 2, 3, go!
It was so funny. Or that's a big Twinkie. You remember that?
Yeah.
That's a big Twinkie.
Are these all Venkman quotes?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, before you say mine, in case you do,
okay.
I want to say my favorite quote.
Okay.
It's when after they get Slimer, and the hotel manager or whatever is like, "Alright, I've had enough of this," and is about to go into the door, or banquet hall, and then Peter Venkman bursts open and goes, "We came, we saw, we kicked it, but he says something else, I'm not going to swear at my house.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass. Did you see it? What is it? We got it!
Yeah, I didn't have that down.
You didn't have that down?
No,
that was the best one. You didn't have it down?
I didn't. I had the go getter right when they agree, to say "Are you a god" or something.
Yeah.
Right. Go get her, Ray!
And then I think this is Venkman who says it. Who are you guys? Who does your taxes? I think he says that at the top too. I can't remember, but
The top of the building?
yeah.
You mean to Gozer?
I think
and
so.
The dogs?
I think so. Who are you guys? Who does your taxes? Yeah.
Are you okay? Who are you guys?
We're the Ghostbusters.
Who does your taxes?
It's so funny.
Alright. So, I know this is pretty obvious, but who gave the best performance?
Bill Murray.
Yeah. Duh. It's
Yeah.
it's so obvious.
Yeah.
Worst performance or Razzie. I didn't put one.
I didn't have one.
Everyone played their part pretty well.
Yeah.
Walter Peck, I hated him, and I'm assuming I was supposed to. So he did
True.
that. He did that pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say it. And cool cars.
Only one right answer.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Ecto
The taxi
1.
cab. No, okay. Ecto 1. Obviously.
Yeah, Ecto 1.
Now, fun foods. Love food. But there were 3 things that stood out to me. Chinese food.
No.
Love Chinese food.
Okay.
Twinkies. That's
Yep.
another thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, the marshmallows. Marshmallow flips / marshmallows. Those are all pretty good foods. Obviously not together. That'd be disgusting. But individually. Pretty good. Lola?
I had those two.
All 3 of us?
No, just 2. Marshmallow and Twinkies.
My Chinese food?
No, when were they having Chinese food?
Right before Slimer. They were like, "This is the last of our money." And then Annie Potts is like, "We got one!" And then they're like, "That's a call!" And then they gotta clean up their Chinese food
yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
Theme favorite song? Theme song.
Yeah.
It is a theme song. I mean, you can't go wrong with a theme song. It's a theme song.
Yep.
It's my favorite song. Of the movie, at least.
Sure.
Alright. Now, what did the critics / critic, singular or plural, say about this? We're gonna go with Roger Ebert's opinion on it. Let me just pull it up.
Where is it?
Okay. I'm gonna read just a short bit. By short, I mean 2 paragraphs. This movie is an exception to the general rule that big special effects can wreck a comedy. Jeez. Special effects require painstaking detail work. Comedy requires spontaneity, and spontaneity. Thank you very much. And improvisation, or at least that's what it should feel like. No matter how much work has gone into it, in movies like Steven Spielberg's 1941, the awesome scale of the special effects dominated everything else. We couldn't laugh because we were holding our breath. Not this time. Ghostbusters has a lot of neat effects, some of them mind-boggling, others just quick little throwaways, as when a transparent green slime monster gobbles up a mouthful of hot dogs. I really want to know how that was filmed or performed. No matter what effects are being used, they're placed at the service of the actors instead of feeling as if the characters have been carefully posed in front of special effects. We feel they're winging this adventure as they go along. The movie stars Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Harold Ramis, 3 graduates of the Second City / National Lampoon / Saturday Night Live tradition. They're funny, but they're not afraid to reveal that they're also quick-witted and intelligent. Their dialogue puts nice little spins on American cliches, and it uses understatement, irony, in-jokes, fast cynicism, and cheerful goofiness. Rarely has a movie this expensive provided so many quotable lines. As you said. That's a lot to read. That's not even the whole thing. So what I'm getting at is...
You didn't like it.
Oh, I got that he liked the performances, but that was it.
Oh.
Maybe he liked the plot. I don't know, I just picked something. He writes a lot. And I can't really read it all, because this video would be a while. Because he writes like a whole essay about it. It's a lot of work. I don't know if I could ever do that. It's a lot of writing. Alright, so, it's on the internet, so it must be true. The actress Sigourney Weaver. You remember her, right?
Yeah.
So, one time, she was in a movie, I believe it was Alien, and I was like...
Yeah.
Who names their kid Sigourney? Turns out, not a real name. She took the name as a stage name from the book The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Mrs. Sigourney Howard. What the heck? What?
Why'd you say it like that?
The Great Gatsby?
No, you said F. Scott Fitzgerald.
F. Scott Fitzgerald.
You said it like so like...
Because it's F. Scott Fitzgerald. I mean, like, come on, he wrote The Great Gatsby. That's it, but, like, he wrote The Great Gatsby.
Alright, go on.
Okay, so the character was Mrs. Sigourney Howard, Jordan Baker's aunt. Her name is actually Susan Weaver. What?
Susan.
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 And then the film was written by both Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. In case you didn't know that.
I did know that. I read it at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I know. I just found it. I don't know why I wrote it there. Whatever.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't find anything.
Okay, now, I found Wikipedia page. Now, it's not really trustworthy, but this is just what I found. This is for our what ifs, as in the cast. So Peter Venkman. Here's the thing. It was written for John Belushi, the other Blues Brother. You know what I'm talking about? You remember there's Blues Brothers and one of them is Dan Aykroyd? Mm-hmm. The other one, the short one. Oh. John Belushi. He died, though. So then...
Before this movie?
Yeah, before this movie. Oh. So it was written for him. He was supposed to be Venkman. And it was considered to go to Richard Pryor. I don't know if you know who that is. But he could have gotten it, but it ended up going to Peter Venkman.
You mean Bill Murray?
Bill Murray. I don't know why I said Peter Venkman. Bill Murray. Now, Winston. These are kind of all phrased the same. Winston was written for Eddie Murphy. Imagine how cool that would have been. It was considered for Reginald VelJohnson, who later made an appearance as a police officer in the jail, I guess you could say, the prison, whatever. Remember? He's like, tap,
In the
tap.
movie?
Yeah, remember? He's like, tap, tap on the bars. He's like, you guys are getting out of here. Because of the mayor.
Oh.
Or, I don't think he says that, but he says something like that.
Yeah.
But then it went to Ernie Hudson.
Okay.
And then John Candy was supposed to be Lewis.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been a lot different.
Yeah,
A bigger
he's
guy.
more. Yeah, and he's more like serious. I don't know.
He's more serious.
Who's the guy that played Lewis? It's not on there.
It is. No, it's not.
Okay.
No, Rick Moranis found it.
Okay. He's like very like goofy and like
Nervous.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I felt like
John
he was
Candy is
perfect.
more of a confidence
Yeah.
comedy guy. But
Yeah.
John Candy was supposed to be Lewis, and then turned it down due to creative differences.
Oh,
But then it was considered for Michael McKean.
who's that?
I don't know. I didn't look into him. I should have though. But then it went to Rick Moranis. You know, maybe
I think that was a good decision.
maybe I'll find out who Michael McKean
Like
is later.
it, like he made him so strange that it was funny.
Because he was, you know, a
Yeah.
nervous guy.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, that's okay. You could pop on by later to the party. And then Dana had a buttload of actresses who were considered for her role, including, I only wrote the ones that you know. Kelly LeBrock from Weird Science. She's
The girl that they made.
The robot, yeah. Robot girl. Daryl Hannah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know what it is. And Kelly McGillis from Top Gun.
Oh, his love interest.
Yeah, like the instructor of interest.
Oh, okay.
But then it went to Sigourney Weaver. There were like 10 actresses on the list. I only pulled ones that you would know though.
Mm.
Now, our last section before we have a call-in guest. So,
We're still doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
okay, we have some WTF questions. If you don't know what WTF means, look it up. So, here's what we got. What got the Ghostbusters? Here's what I want to know. What got the Ghostbusters into ghostbusting in the first place?
That was one of my.
Like Ray and
How did they get into researching ghosts?
yeah, they're like, oh, they're just sleeping. And they're like, oh, I want to catch ghosts. What?
Yeah, that's what.
Obviously,
Yeah.
there's some stuff that needs to be answered,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. It does not contribute to the story whatsoever. Next one. What exactly makes Slimer so much different than the rest of the ghosts? Because, like, if everyone looks like a human, and then he's there looking like a pile of ghost poo.
That's what I had. I said, what is Slimer, like, supposed to be?
Like a
what
dog?
is. Like, I don't know.
A hippo?
A what?
A hippo?
So,
He's something.
I don't know. It makes no sense. He's just like a blob.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
It's weird. So there was this running bit where whenever Lewis would leave his apartment, and then he'd somehow get locked out. And it hasn't been fixed or anything by the landlord? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Doesn't fix it. Also, an apartment that fancy looking. How is it broken? You know what I mean? I mean, yes, things break, but like,
True. I don't know.
they shouldn't.
I don't know.
Well, how does he get back in though? Because no one's in his apartment, unless he just calls the guy.
He
And
probably
just
does.
repeatedly does it, and he'll probably keep repeatedly doing it until he actually gets his lock fixed.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what I want to know is, how do Zool and Vince Clortho pick their hosts? You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like, is it random? Or is there, like, an actual, like, I pick you? Or, you know, like, Dana, I choose you. And then they go after them. And they're like, you're mine. And then they take their body. Or possess them. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Possess.
Oh my god. Unless it's like, like in Aladdin, when like Aladdin's the only person that like can enter the Cave of Wonders.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something to do like that.
How is that the same?
I don't know, like maybe it's just them that like, like they're destined to like be possessed.
Oh.
I
Their
don't-
destiny?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't
I
know.
was gonna say, maybe what if it's their apartment, but like. Yeah, maybe not.
I don't know. It's just a thought.
Okay. Back to Reginald Vell Johnson. He's a police officer.
Uh-huh.
Everything I know him from, he's a police officer. What gives?
Really?
There's Die Hard. I believe.
Wait, is he the guy that he talks?
Yeah. In Die Hard.
Oh.
I believe he's
Okay.
in a TV show called. I forgot what it's called. I would look it up, but our internet's acting up right now. That show with Urkel. You know what Urkel is?
Yeah.
Glasses suspended.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I know what show you're talking. I can't think of that.
Anyway, I think he's the father figure in that show, who's also a police officer.
Oh.
I think. Anyway, I just keep seeing him, and he's a police officer. I'm like, whoa, what? Is this like a running bit with the world, or what? What is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the last scene, when they're on the rooftop,
Yeah.
Peter Venkman says after they get pushed back, I guess, by Ghost, he's like die, and they get pushed back. Then Peter Venkman gets up. He goes, "Okay, this chick is toast," and then they walk up, and something falls off of one of their backs. I want to say it was Egon or Peter's. Something falls off. Of
Yeah,
their back.
you did say that when we were watching it. Yeah.
And then I noticed it was still there in a different shot, like at a different angle. So either one of two things happened. A, it was an accident, but they wanted to keep it there so no one will like point out like, oh, that thing's missing in the next shot. Or, it had a purpose and the scene got deleted or something. I don't know. The point is, I noticed something fell off, and I want to know what it was. Maybe it was just part of the proton pack, like an accessory or something.
Probably.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah. Why does Winston like want the job?
Probably just because he's looking for one.
Yeah, but like, why that job?
Maybe because he tried other places. I'm not sure. This is an
I don't
unanswerable
know.
question.
I don't know. Oh, and then when Lewis is about to...
Be possessed?
Yes. The people at the party...
Or like that
see-
restaurant?
the people at
his party?
his party
Yeah.
see the dog. But at the restaurant, they don't see it. Why?
Huh.
Because like when he was like
Yeah.
up against the glass and like he was like...
they
that's
couldn't
when
see it and they thought he was crazy.
Yeah.
But
So,
party,
like-
couldn't see it.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why I thought it was weird.
Plot hole.
I don't know.
Weird. Huh.
And then...
Unless what people at the party saw was a door just break open and then like a table fall to bits. Wait, no, some people saw it at the front of the hotel too. Remember, they're like, he's crazy. He said a bear's chasing him or something, and it like runs through them
Oh,
and like,
yeah.
tramples them. They're like, oh my god!
Yeah.
And so some people can see it, some people can't, or something.
I don't know. And
Weird.
then at the end, how is Venkman not covered in as much marshmallow?
Oh, I actually searched that up. I don't know why I didn't say it earlier. But he actually requested not to get covered in as much.
Seriously?
And they just were like, okay. And then they did it. And then there was no reason for it. He just like, wouldn't it be funny if Venkman, wasn't covered in as much goo? Like, genius. Let's do it. They did it.
Huh,
But
okay.
why he wanted less? Probably so he wasn't as messy. Yeah, it is kind of funny.
Yeah,
how
that was
he
all
is
my.
in-
Those are all my questions.
Give me one moment. Gotta call our guest, Because, with our older movies, we like to call guests so they can share their opinion.
Are you sure he has it pulled up?
Stuff. Hola? Hello?
Hola.
Hello! How you doing?
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, got it. I hear you now.
Thank God. Alright, so, you're currently in a video,
Okay,
in case you didn't know that.
got it.
We're doing Ghostbusters right now. You know,
Nice.
you know that movie, right?
Very well.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
So,
we just went to the new one.
we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah, I posted a video about it. I don't know. Duh. Forgot. Okay. So, what we have is a few questions for you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, first, what was it like to, or you saw this in theaters, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, what was it like seeing it and, going there? Because I'm assuming it was very different than what it's like now.
Right. Well, the theater experience was much smaller. Our theater had 3 screens as opposed to, I don't even know, 20?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so, but 1984, so I was 10 years old. And, your grandmother, my mother,
Mm-hmm.
would take me to the movies quite often. And we always went to a matinee show because it was cheaper. It's usually in the, early afternoon. And 1984, so I was 10.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember going to see it, and I remember it was amazing. I thought 1984 was probably a really great time to be 10 years old.
Sounds like.
A lot of movies. 1984 actually was a really great year for movies. You had. Some I wasn't old enough to appreciate until later, but you had Beverly Hills Cop. You had Karate Kid, which I loved. What else came out that year? There's a lot. The John Hughes 16 Candles, Last Starfighter. I remember. But watch it. But honestly, when I saw it, I remember it being very funny. The special effects were pretty great for 1984. Watching it again recently, I think the only part as far as the effects go is the stop motion's a little rough, but we didn't have much to compare it to back then. And I don't really know of anything that Ghostbusters has never really left. It's always been here. There's always a T-shirt or a sticker somewhere. It's been ingrained in pop culture ever since it came out. It never really went away.
Good.
And I know the second one didn't come out till 80. I want to say 89, but there was a cartoon series that came out a couple years after this. So if you were, 10, 11, 12 years old, it was a great time. It was a great time to be a part of the Ghostbusters spirit.
Is that the same TV show where Egon is blonde?
Yeah. I don't remember watching a lot of it. I believe it came on as part of the Saturday morning cartoons. And as a child, very important for growing up. Very part of the culture. Pre-cable, we didn't have, at least for us, we didn't have cable in 1984. The only thing I remember about that cartoon, the real Ghostbusters, the voice of Peter Venkman was the same voice as Garfield, in those specials that we've watched.
That's so weird, because Bill Murray plays Garfield.
What's that?
Bill Murray plays Garfield in that live-action movie.
Right, in the new movie. Yeah, that is weird. I didn't even realize that until you just said it. And it was everywhere. Like I said, lunchboxes. I had a button, on my jean jacket. Stickers. Oh, gosh. And, like I said, it never left pop culture in general because, I've taken you guys to some of these Comic-Con type conventions.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always an Ecto one, right? There's always one there for you to take pictures with. There's always people dressed up as Ghostbusters. I mean, it's as popular as Star Wars, I would say.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can really say that anything else from that time has stuck around like that, besides like Star Wars and like maybe Indiana Jones. The Goonies at this point is pretty high up there. But, I mean, nothing else from that year really stands out as being commonplace everywhere.
Well, Karate Kid.
Still t-shirts. I know now there's a resurgence because the new movies that have come out in the past few years. But even before that, there was always you always saw t-shirts and sweatshirts and posters and everything, even toys.
Mm-hmm.
Still.
Yeah. All right. So, we have a few questions.
Okay.
So, 1. What was your favorite part and why?
Oh, man. My favorite... You know what? I really like the beginning. I really love that library part. Mainly because... You guys know what a library is?
No. Please explain.
Roman.
It's where the books live.
Oh.
When I was a kid, we didn't have the internet. We had to go to the library for all of our, term papers and stuff like that. So that card catalog scene,
Yes.
where those cards start flying out of the drawers, I love that part, and the books flying across the aisles. The card catalog was... We were very well versed as kids in the Dewey Decimal System, I'll say that. So that's probably my favorite part. I really like it. And watching it again, I thought it held up pretty well, the special effects. I like the ghost. I like how she kind of vamps out at the end part. That really, I really like that part a lot. I mean, and then also Slimer, of course. Who, at the time, I don't remember him being called Slimer.
No, I remember it's called a type of ghost, a Slimer.
Oh, okay.
And then I got confused. I'm like, wait, isn't that the Ghost Slimer?
You know what? I think that came up in that cartoon, the
Oh.
real Ghostbusters series. I think that's where they named him Slimer, if I remember right. Because he was actually like the mascot of the Ghostbusters in that show. He was, I think he was friendly, if I remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember the series too well because I didn't watch it like some of the other shows that I watched. I bounced in and out, so I don't remember a lot, but I'm pretty sure he was like friendly.
Okay. Do you have any least favorite parts? And if so, why?
Least favorite. No, you know what? It's not really. It was really. The movie moves so fast. I mean, it's. Do you know how long it is? I don't recall.
Like an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Is it 2 hours or is it like 90 minutes?
I think it's an hour 45. I think, pretty sure.
Oh.
Around there.
Because it moves so quickly, and I don't recall there being really any slow spots. There's the montage that I love that has the the old magazine covers. Do you guys know what magazines are?
Yes, it's a paperback.
Okay, just checking. You know, that's fun. You know, you hear Casey Kasem, who was on the radio back in those days. That was very recognizable. Yeah, it moves really well. Aside from like the effects that I mentioned, the stop motion parts, which even though they're a little tough, a little rough, I love the terror dogs. I think those guys are cool. That's really the only part that has that kind of stop motion effect.
Yeah, I remember that.
I really like their proton blasts. I think that part's fun whenever they shoot those, especially in the banquet room. I like that part a lot. There's not, for this particular movie, I can't really think of anything that I don't like about it. Are you okay? Did I just...
Lola coughed. She was choking on something. I think her.
I thought I said something wrong.
No. Okay.
How about you guys? Did you guys have a favorite part and a least favorite part?
Yes, mine was capturing Slimer, and Lola was the montage. And then...
Well,
Huh?
Lola was the montage?
Yes.
She's a big fan of montages.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Lola didn't have a least favorite part, but my least favorite was when Walter Peck lets out the ghosts and then tries to convince the mayor to put the Ghostbusters away because I hate him.
Because what?
I hate him.
Oh. Well, that guy does a really good job at being that type of character.
That's what we said. Like, he's supposed to make us hate him, and I do, so we did a good job.
Right. You remember him from Die Hard?
Yes, he was a reporter.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah, he does a good job, though.
All right. Do you have a favorite quote? Ooh, like, I don't know, or ooh, there's too many?
There's so many.
Agreed.
I do like one of my favorites is and I remember telling you that I thought it was Egon that said it, but it's actually Venkman that says it. He says, "Back off, man! I'm a scientist."
Yeah.
I thought I for many years I thought it was "Back off, man! I'm a Ghostbuster," because I had a button
That said that?
that said that. Yeah.
Oh.
But I don't know. There's a lot of great ones. I like when Winston's talking about the Twinkie, or Winston and Egon are talking about the Twinkie.
Yeah.
I do like when I like that part when they're talking about the well, I think they're in jail at that point, and they're talking about what's going on. It's kind of biblical.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. And everything that Peter Venkman says is hilarious.
Yeah, we all had quotes by him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What was your favorite?
Lola had like 4 of them by Peter Venkman. And then I said we came, we saw, we kicked its butt after Slimer.
Oh, right, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
I like the "Don't Cross the Streams."
Oh yeah.
That whole conversation. That's the thing is that there's no for me there's no one line. There's like several lines within the punchline, I guess.
Mm-hmm. In terms of performances, was there a best one and was there a worst one?
The best one. Oh gosh. Well, you gotta love Bill Murray, right?
Yes.
God, they're all great. I don't know. I mean, I really like Egon's character a lot. Who didn't get enough was probably Winston.
Yes, that's what we were saying.
I mean, I know he comes in midway through the movie, so it's not his fault, but I think he's a great character. But I love I love Lewis, Rick Moranis. I thought he was amazing. He's probably my favorite performance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I feel like Bill Murray is just Bill Murray, and everything he does. Right before this was, I believe he was in Stripes. And he's kind of the same sort of sarcastic character.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I didn't like his performance. I think he's awesome. And Dan Aykroyd, too, is pretty great. I haven't talked about him yet, but I don't know if there's a bad performance, per se.
Yeah, we didn't put anything down.
Walter Peck, right? That's the name, Walter Peck?
Yeah, but he did a good job, because I hate him.
But yeah, he did. Yeah, right. I know you gotta hate him, because he's really great at being a jerk.
Heard. And then cool cars, fun foods, and your favorite song.
Cool. Well, Ecto One.
Duh.
The Cadillac, right? I think it's a 1959 Cadillac.
I believe so.
No?
I just put down Ecto One.
Oh.
I could look into it though.
Yeah, sure. And then also, I love the cabs of that era, the taxi cabs. They're very distinct, and all through the 80s, probably into the 90s, you see those taxi cabs. And they're just very of the time,
Mm-hmm.
But Ecto One definitely, I still, it's still cool to see those at car shows and Comic-Cons every now and then. What was the other one? Foods?
Foods, and then a song. Favorite song.
I remember, I was talking about the Twinkie, right? When they bring up the Twinkie.
Mm-hmm.
I remember them being good in 1984.
And now?
And I remember your brother, Vinny, wanted Twinkies, like when did that one with the female cast come out?
2016.
Yeah, he was really little and he wanted to get Twinkies, and so we found them. And I remember eating one, and I was like, "This was not good. It's not good anymore. I don't know if it's me or if it's changed. I don't know, but that's not good." The other thing, I don't remember any other food. Oh wait, there's some kind of chips or something. I remember seeing.
Yes.
Oh, the Chinese.
Ha! With the chips, I think Ray was eating Doritos.
So, another 80. Actually, I don't even know if it's just 80, but anytime people are eating Chinese food in the movies, it fascinates me that they're eating it out of that like white cardboard thing.
Mm-hmm. I put Chinese food and Twinkies, and
I mean, it's never occurred to me to eat out of one of those things.
Chinese is good.
And then song, you asked me song.
Mm-hmm.
Well, besides Ghostbusters.
Oh, we put that one.
Yeah. I know there's a Busboys song in that movie. They sang "The Boys Are Back in Town" in something.
Oh.
But this one's there's a different song. I just remember that that was pretty good. But Ghostbusters is probably. I mean, it was playing everywhere when that movie came out for like a year.
Oh.
Constant rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever get annoyed by the song?
No, it's just it's almost, I don't know, I don't know. No, I don't think it's, at that time it was something every time it was on, you just get excited. I don't know about now if it was on a lot, because if I could handle it, but back then it was heavy rotation.
Yeah.
There was less songs back then. felt like.
All right. What's something else we could ask you? Oh, do you have any questions regarding the movie that don't really have an answer in terms of like a plot or a plot hole or like why is this happening or anything like that?
One question I did have at the end was what happened to Slimer.
Right.
You remember?
Yeah.
Kind of the post-credit.
You said he like popped up at the end or something, but this
Yeah.
time we didn't see him.
He kind of flies out of the screen.
Yeah, and
Right.
eats us.
Because I was like almost certain that he would come out in the second one, which he does for like briefly.
Mm-hmm.
But he never had like a bigger part. I guess the real Ghostbusters gave him that, beefier role.
Maybe it's a Mandela effect.
Yeah, sure.
Do you know what that is? You don't know what a Mandela effect is?
I don't know.
It's like something where you think this thing happened like years ago, but it turns out it was something completely different. Like Kit Kat with a hyphen in the middle. Never happened. Never there.
It's a false memory.
Oh.
Something
Yeah.
that didn't.
False memory.
Actually, yeah, a lot of times movie quotes.
Yes.
A lot of movie quotes have that.
Like
right?
Jaws.
Make it something, and it's not. It's something else.
Like in Jaws, they say, we're going to need a bigger boat, but it's actually your.
Exactly.
Common pronoun misconception, but...
Oh my god.
It's not weird. It's your.
Okay.
Possessive pronoun. That's what I meant. That's the right term, right? Because they own it. Or it's theirs.
Nerd alert.
Okay. Says the one who did freaking exposition on one of our episodes.
Shut up.
Alright, well, that's all we have for you today.
But cool. How did it hold up, this movie, for you guys?
Well,
Do you remember the first time that you saw it, Roman?
I
I
believe...
asked you in particular because I felt like when you were about 2 or 3, you were ready to watch movies because they kept your attention.
Yes.
And so I tried to show you movies that I saw at the age that you were, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Yes.
if I felt you were ready and appropriate, movies that were appropriate. So I probably showed you this movie when you were maybe 9 or 10,
I
or
think so.
maybe even 8, I don't know. But how did it hold up? Do you remember seeing it for the first time or no?
I don't remember the experience, but I was like, yeah, I've seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like it. I love it. It's a great movie. What about Lola? Have you ever seen this full run before?
Yeah.
Just making sure.
I don't remember
'Cause, like,
watching
with-
it for the first time.
What was it, Breakin'? I think it turns out you never even saw that movie before, which I did not know.
No.
Learn something new every day. But yeah, we really love this movie. We're glad you showed it to us when we were like 8. Now we love it.
Well, like I know I've told Lola this before, that she was born in the wrong era.
Oh, what about me?
Yeah, probably you too. But you like all movies.
Yes, I do.
You're very much like I was. Like when I was young, I was just happy to go to the movies. Now we take it for granted because we go as a family. I think we go pretty regularly when we can.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder now as you guys are getting
older.
All a little busier. We have more stuff going on. But I think Roman, you in particular, appreciate the experience of going to a movie.
Yes.
With, because you don't want anybody to bother you.
No.
Just like me. I don't want to hear anybody talking. You want your popcorn, you want your soda.
Yes.
And you want to escape for an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
And you're, just like me, you love movie trailers.
Yes.
I used to hate being late for the movies because I always wanted to see the previews before the kid. Your grandmother took me quite often, like I said, at least to the, and back then we had drive-ins. So she would take me to, the appropriate movies at the theater. But then I feel like when she wanted to see one that was more adult-oriented, or, anything rated R, I guess, we would go to the drive-in because they'd show two movies. They'd show the family one first, and then they'd show the rated R one after. And more often than not, I would fall asleep the second one, so she got to see her movie, right?
Oh, that's smart. Smart.
So I'm hoping that this summer there is a theater, there's a drive-in that's not too far away from us. Turns out, because it wasn't going to close and now it's going to be open again. So I'm hoping that we can do that.
That sounds fun.
A couple times this summer. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll call you
for having me.
again, most likely.
1984, like I said, great time, a great year for movies.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're doing next?
We haven't really decided at the moment.
No.
We'll figure something out. I don't know.
There's so many to choose
Yeah.
from. I mean,
And since the summer's coming up, and we might do Karate Kid.
oh,
But
one of my favorites.
yeah, your favorites.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, since the summer's coming up, Lowell and I, or anyone else who wants to come on, we'll have a lot of free time, and we'll be able to post more, at least on YouTube.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Skadoosh. All right. So that was Ghostbusters, 1984. I love it. Do you love it?
Yeah.
You better.
Nobody steps on a church in my town.
We gotta start quoting.
I know,
But
that'd be so funny.
Would be weird though is if we just say that in a normal conversation. You know?
Who are you? Who does your taxes?
They'd be like, "Hi, how are you?" I'd be like, "I'm good. How are you?" And you'd be like, "What'd you do this weekend?" No one steps on a church in my town. Well, thank you all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever. Spread the word. That'd be terrific, swell, grand, wonderful for you to do that because it would help me out a lot, help us out a lot because, get more root beers, get to make more videos, do things we love. Thank you for watching. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.